It's no secret that I try a lot of products because I just love buying makeup, and I also receive things through PR. So I've been asked a lot, out of everything that you've tried, what are the products that you would actually repurchase for yourself? So here's a full face of makeup using those products. So for primer, I feel like it's definitely not going to come as a surprise to any of you that it's the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Serum. I actually use this in almost every single one of my videos, especially lately because it's just been so dry in Hong Kong, especially during these colder months. So this is a product that I received in PR that I absolutely fell in love with, and I would 100% repurchase. If your makeup ever looks too cakey, or you feel like it looks heavy or dry in certain areas, I highly recommend trying a hydrating primer. It just creates this really glowy, juicy barrier under your makeup, and it just makes everything melt together and look very skin-like. For base, this is one product that I have repurchased twice now. This is the Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer. I love this concealer so much because of the formula. It's a very lightweight whipped texture, and the coverage is very true to medium coverage. So you can build it up if you want, but you can also sheer it out just by applying a little bit like I'm doing now and just blend it out into a thin layer. I would say the finish of this concealer is more glowy. So if you have oilier skin or you prefer a matte finish, this concealer probably isn't for you. For me, the finish is exactly what I like about it. I've been breaking out just a little bit on my cheeks, and I have some marks that I want to cover up, so I'm just going to add a thin layer on my face as well, and you'll just see that this concealer pretty much melts into the skin, and it covers up a decent amount of the pigmentation on my cheeks, but the finish is still very glowy, very natural, and it just looks like skin. The next category is blush. This is the CL Blush and Protect SPF 50 blush. I love this blush, and I have already repurchased this once. I just feel like a liquid blush that has SPF built into it is just so useful for every day, and the shade is also my perfect kind of neutral mauvey pink. So on days where I don't really know what blush I want to use, I'll always just go for this because obviously with the added protection of SPF, especially on your cheeks where, you know, the sun will naturally hit throughout the day if you're just outside, like that's kind of a perfect pairing. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more because obviously I'm a blushaholic, and you'll see like the finish of this blush is pretty adaptable. If you have a more matte base on, the blush will probably look a little bit more matte, but because obviously my base is a little bit more glowy, then my blush is going to look a little bit more glowy. It's just a very user-friendly blush. You just can't go wrong with it. Now I'm gonna go on to spot concealing. I actually have two concealer pencils here that I bought multiples of. The one that I use more is actually this one, which is the Same's concealer pencil, and I use the shade 1.5. It's just the perfect match for my skin tone, and it's just super creamy, and it covers up my blemishes really well. The only thing is, because it's so creamy, you do have to set it down, otherwise natural movement of your face or resting your head on your hand, the concealer will definitely be wiped away. But it's kind of just good for every day because obviously I don't need anything super high performance, but if I had a special occasion that I really want to spot conceal areas of my face for, I would use this one, which is the Lisa Eldridge Pinpoint Concealer Pencil. This is a waterproof formula, so the formula is a little bit thicker, I would say, but it actually dries down, so it becomes completely sweat-proof, waterproof, and that is perfect for obviously summer months when I'm sweating a little bit more, or just occasions where I want the concealer to be pretty much bulletproof on my skin. Moving on to powder, this is my second powder from NARS. It's the Soft Matte Advanced Perfecting Powder in the shade Cove. As you can see with my second one, I've already hit pan. I just love this powder so much. It's a very soft powder, so you can pick up a lot on your brush, but once you lay it onto the skin, it applies so lightly and it perfectly just like blurs your skin. I used to say that this powder reminds me of the Givenchy powder, but just in a pressed formula. I have acne prone skin, so I tend to get breakouts and, you know, I'll have texture on my cheeks, and this powder just really helps to disguise that. Next we have bronzer. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer in the shade Nude Bronze Light. I have two of these bronzers. I have it in this lighter shade and also a deeper shade for the summer months, but I just love this powder bronzer so much because it has a glowy finish. I just like to put this almost like all over my skin, and it's a very sheer product, so it's not going to look too harsh or too chiseling and, you know, bronzing on the skin where you look like you're just wearing a lot of makeup. I feel like it just adds almost like a filtered look to your skin. If you ever feel like your makeup is not makeuping and you want to elevate and enhance your makeup, I think this bronzer is such a good product to do that because it just adds this beautiful like warmth to your skin, just like that. And obviously it doesn't have a matte finish, but it also doesn't emphasize pores or texture because sometimes people with textured skin may avoid, you know, glowier products. This doesn't do that. It really just blurs the skin. It adds a filter. Like what more could you want from a bronzer? For highlighter, we have this Haus Labs Bio Radiant Highlighting Balm. So I was sent this in PR and I've gone through almost all of it. Like this is how much I have left. It adds this beautiful glow to the skin that just melts in and becomes one with your makeup. It doesn't disturb the makeup that you have underneath, so you don't have to worry about it picking up product or, you know, lifting up some coverage if you have concealer down or foundation. Like it just adds this beautiful glowy finish to your skin and it'll have people asking about your skincare routine. I would absolutely repurchase this. Moving on to the brows, obviously I'm using my Judy Doll brow pencil. I'm very loyal when it comes to brow pencils because I feel like there's really no point switching it up if I already find something that works for me. And I have no complaints about this brow pencil at all. There's just a perfect hardness to this pencil. It doesn't allow you to overdraw or overdo your brows, which is something that I kind of worry about with softer pencils because it's just so easy to overdo it and fill in a little bit too much. Now moving on to the eyes, I don't really have specific eyeshadows that I would repurchase. It's more so like the idea of the eyeshadow. So the first one is just like a taupey neutral brown shade. You can never go wrong with an eyeshadow that is maybe a couple of shades deeper than your skin tone. As you can see, this just adds a very soft shadow to the eyes and it just gives your eyes a little bit more dimension. I love MAC Omega eyeshadow. I love this one from Makeup Forever. It's in the shade Sweet Taupe. I also love MAC's Groundwork Paint Pot. That one's a classic. So basically any long wearing eyeshadow that gives just a little bit of color to the eyelids, I would 100% repurchase eyeshadow shades that are this color. And then another eyeshadow that I would 100% repurchase is a sparkly eyeshadow topper. So the one I have here is the Urban Decay Space Cowboy. This is famous for so many reasons. So many people love it because it just adds this beautiful gleam and like wet look shine to your eyelids. So this is a really great option. I also really like ColourPop's Ritz eyeshadow. There's so many different glittery eyeshadow toppers that I think perform really well. This is one of my favorites. So I'm just going to show you how this works. I just pick up literally the tiniest amount on my finger and I'm just going to tap this right in the center of my eyes. I have absolutely nowhere to be today, so I'm not going to put too much on, but just so I can show you guys what it looks like. So I've just added it to the center of the eyes. I don't know if the camera is really picking it up, but you'll see that it just adds this 3D look to my eyes. And I love the way that the sparkles catch the light because it just adds this like brightness and like glittering effect to the eyes, but it still isn't over the top. Like it's not like I'm wearing a glitter eyeshadow. It's subtle, but it's really pretty. Next we have liquid eyeliner. This one is from Judy Doll. It has literally the finest tip ever. I've repurchased this once already, so this is my second one. And even though it's such a thin tip, it's actually very easy to control and use. I'm just gonna do a mini wing today, nothing crazy. This eyeliner won't smudge, it won't flake, it doesn't fade, it looks perfectly intact all day. So I just love this so much. And keep in mind, everything smudges on me and this doesn't smudge at all. So I feel like that says a lot. I'm gonna quickly curl my eyelashes. And the one mascara that I've repurchased over and over again is the Heroin Make Volume Up mascara. This is the super waterproof version. I want to emphasize that this is the super waterproof formula, so it's not the advanced film. The advanced film I don't like as much, but the super waterproof one is truly the most waterproof, most bulletproof mascara I've ever tried. It's honestly kind of hard to remove, so you have to use like a specific mascara remover to really make the process easy and enjoyable. If you have short or stubborn eyelashes that don't like to hold a curl, or every single mascara that you use smudges on you, you have to try this mascara because I feel like everyone that's tried it has loved it. Okay, I just did a light coat on my lashes today just so they stay, you know, curled and defined, but I don't want too thick of a lash. Now moving on to the lips. This is a lip liner that I repurchased I think 2 of because I just liked having it in my everyday makeup bag. I liked having one in my stash and then one to just be like in my bag with me and whatever purse I'm using during the day. So this is the Lisa Eldridge Sculpt and Shade Lip Pencil in the shade 0N. If I had to make a lip liner shade, it'd be this shade. It's just perfectly neutral, but also like light enough that it doesn't add color to my lips. It's more like a lip extender. It blends into my lips so nicely and it just perfectly defines my lips, just like that. I feel like for lip color, it's not going to be a surprise either. This is the Benefit Benetint Lip Stain. This is my second or third bottle. And because the shade is this berry red, I feel like my lips just look very naturally flushed. Like if I bit them or, you know, I ate something spicy, this is the shade that my lips would go, and that's kind of the shade that I'm going for. And then for gloss, I wanted to talk about this lip gloss. I know it looks completely unused, and it's because it's my second bottle of this. This is the Clarins Lip Oil. I don't think I talk about this very often, but it's a product that I'll always reach for because A, it feels so comfortable on the lips, B, it adds a lot of shine, and C, it smells like candy. The formula is also not sticky at all. It just adds a sheer tint of color to the lips, and it's very lightweight and thin, but also not too thin of an oil, because I find that some lip oils are a little bit too runny and it almost feels like the oil is dripping into your mouth and you can taste the oil, and that is so not enjoyable for me. So I prefer a thicker lip oil. Like, it cushions my lips, it feels very plush. So that's a perfect lip oil in my book. Okay, this is the finished makeup look. I hope this video was interesting and you learned which products I plan to repurchase and products that I love so much that I've already repurchased. Thank you so much for getting ready with me today, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Let me know if you have any other ideas for video concepts like this. I would love to make more, and I will speak to you guys soon. Bye!